Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we're going to do a tutorial on a tassel necklace using products from Beads. So Beads reached out to me a couple of months ago and asked if I would like to try their products, and I said yes, I would like to. And so I'm going to do a tutorial on some of the products that I ordered. So one thing that I got, and I will link the haul, I've already uploaded the haul from Beads if you want to see that, but one thing that I got from them was a whole bunch of rondelles, just strands and strands of rondelles. They're beautiful, shiny, sparkly, all different colors. So anyway, and they were a great price. So today we're going to use a bunch of these rondelles in a tassel similar to this one. I'm not going to put the feathers in it, but we're going to use the rondelles. And I also ordered from them cup chain connectors, which are these little guys right here. Okay, and that's what you put your rhinestone chain in if you want to connect it to something. And these are hard to find, and they had a great prices on them. And I'll link all the products below in the description box as well. And then I ordered some seed beads from them too. And these are FGB brand. They don't say it on here, but that's what Shirley told me that they are from Budget Bead Box. So they're really good seed beads. I tried to rub the finish off and could not, and I love these bright silver, and a lot of times you get these and the finish rubs right off. So they are good seed beads, size 12-0, same as 11-0 in my book, but yeah. So anyway, here's an example of another type of tassel necklace. Tassels are really popular right now. So I'm going to do one using a lot of green shades. So what you're going to need if you want to do this tutorial is you're going to need a bunch of some kind of sparkly beads. So these are the shades of green that they had. I should have another one. Did I lose one? I'm missing one. But anyway, these are the shapes. Oh, here, it's on the floor. Of course. So these are the shapes or shades of green that I'm using from the bunch of rondelles that I got. And there were a couple others. There was like this more aqua color, but I didn't really want to use that one with these other shades of green. And then we've got this one, which is unfinished, and I'm going to show you how to finish these. So I have him beaded up, but I don't have him finished yet. I'm going to use a strand of the seed beads, the bright silver. I'm going to use some Coriana chain, a couple strands of that. I'm going to use a strand of AB rhinestone cup chain, a strand of green rhinestone cup chain, or a couple strands of green, and then just some lengths of bright silver chain. And this is what is going to make up my tassel. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do all of these, how to finish all of these. I have another strand of the rondelles here, another piece of the Coriana, and one more strand of the AB cup chain. I'm going to show you how to finish these all so you can attach them to your tassel. But those are the components you're going to need. You can put anything you want in this. You can use all seed beads, you can do all chain, I mean you can do whatever you want, but that's what I'm using because I'm wanting to use these rondelles and the seed beads from Beads. Okay, and then you're going to need several clamshell connectors, and that's these right here. These are what you use to connect your Coriana chain onto your jump ring. You're going to need a clasp of your choice. I'm using a lobster. You're going to need a length of Coriana chain, or whatever kind of chain that you want to hang your pendant on. You can use anything. You can use leather, you can use cord, whatever, but I'm using Coriana chain. You're going to need a tassel topper, and I got these tassel toppers at, I believe it was Hobby Lobby. I wish I could remember for sure because I love these. They're great for making tassels, but I think it was Hobby Lobby. So you're going to need a tassel topper. You're going to need some jump rings. You're going to need the cup chain connectors in however many strands of cup chain that you want to put on there. You're going to need several crimp beads, so we're crimping a lot, so you're going to need several crimp beads and some monofilament. Now the monofilament that I use, let me show you this. This is from the fishing store, and it is 6-pound monofilament, and it works great for stringing up these tiny, like the rondelles and stuff. And if you use Fireline, it tends to be stiff, and I like it to be, see how this is real supple and moves around, so I like to use that monofilament. And I think that's everything besides your tools. You're going to need cutters, chain nose pliers, round nose pliers, oh, and a head pin to hook your tassel to. And if you wanted to put a bead, like up on the tassel here, you could put a bead up there. I may find a bead to stick on there on top of the head pin, but right now we're just going to go with this. Okay, so to do your rondelle strands, here they are. Here's my 3, and this one is not yet finished. What you need to do is you need to take your monofilament and take a crimp bead and put it down at the very, very, very bottom and crimp it as tight as you can get it. Okay, now you don't want a lot of monofilament hanging out the bottom, so you want to get it down there as far to the end as you can, but you obviously you don't want it to come off, so you want to crimp it really tight. And you know, I've just left a teeny tiny bit there, you can see it, of monofilament sticking out. So and then once you do that, you string on all your rondelles. Now I've made all of mine pretty much the same size here today. There's a little bit of variation, but you know, not a whole lot. But you can do it however you want. You can vary them, you can make them all exactly the same. But anyway, and then to finish this, you're going to take another crimp bead and you're going to slide it right on the unfinished end of your monofilament. Let's go all the way down. Okay, then you're going to take your monofilament and put it back through that exact same crimp bead. Okay, I gotta get my glasses. Can't see what I'm doing. Okay, that is much better. Okay, you're going to go back through the crimp bead and through a couple of the rondelles. If you can get through them, you should be able to with no problem. Okay, and then you're going to, whoops, and then it's going to slip out like that, we don't want it to do. Okay, now, and then you're going to pull it. Now, if you grab this piece right here and pull kind of tight, it will tighten up without, you can try it, whichever, I can never remember which one it is, but it's this one. Okay, so I'm just leaving a small loop about that big. Actually, I might leave a little bit bigger loop because I have smaller loops on all my other ones, and I want them to be able to hang on the jump ring inside that bead cap. So let's do it, or the tassel topper. So I'm going to leave a little longer loop, and I'm going to crimp it down. And I crimp them really tight. And then you're going to take your scissors, and you're going to cut off the remainder of your monofilament. And that is how you do the little rondelle chains. So we've got those, okay? Now, cup chain. I have a couple different sizes here. I have a bigger one, and I have a smaller one, okay? So you have to have the right size cup chain connectors in order to finish your cup chain. Oh, and I didn't mention, but I am going to use a little bit of E6000 glue on these, so that's another thing that you may want to have. Okay, so what I do is I take my glue and I just put a little bit, my glue's dried on the top, hold on. I just put a little bit in my cup chain connector. I hold it by the little tab at the top and just stick a little bit of glue in there. And then I'm just going to lay my cup chain in there, press it down, and I'm just going to leave it for a few minutes and let that glue start to set up. So we're just going to set that aside for a minute. Okay? Now let's move on to the Coriana. So I've cut several lengths of Coriana chain, well, 3 to be exact, and we're going to attach a clamshell to the top of the Coriana so we can hook it on our jump ring. So what you want to do is you just cut it blunt at the bottom. You don't have to do anything fancy to it. And then you take your little crimp bead. No, I'm sorry. You take your clamshell and you insert it through the bottom of your clamshell. I'm not doing very good today. And stick it right down in there, and then you're going to insert your crimp bead. Hopefully you can get it on more smoothly than I'm getting mine on there. It's not a good day for me as far as tiny things happening. Why am I having trouble? Alright, come on. Really, honestly, it usually is not this hard. Maybe my cup chain is kind of splitting here at the top. I may need to trim it, or let me just do the other end of it. If it's not just a blunt cut or a sharp cut across, then it's sometimes a little hard to go through some things. That might be the problem. So let's try this again. Put your clamshell on. Oh my goodness, something just fell. About gave me a heart attack. All right, there we go. This is stressful for some reason this morning. Okay, got my crimp bead on. You want to put it way up toward the top, like as far up as you can get it. And I just pulled it off. Daggone it. Okay, get back on there. You want to put it way up toward the top as far as you can get it and crimp it down. I am completely stressed out. All right. And whatever that was that just fell just about gave me a heart attack. It scared me. Okay, now we're going to get our E6000 again. And we're going to put a little bit of E6000 inside this clamshell. All this does is secure this thing. It keeps it from coming apart ever, I think. I mean, I think you would really have to pull hard on it. I think the chain would break before the clamshell would come apart on this if you pulled after you use the C6000. And then you just close your clamshell up. And I will show you how. I don't like this kind of a clamshell. I like the kind that's already closed. See how this has an open hook? So what I do with these is I take them and I just roll it with my round nose pliers and just create a double loop if I can. Okay? Just like that. I just don't feel like they're as secure as the other kind, but this is what I had, so it's what I'm using. So I'm going to roll all three of these. And that's how you finish your Coriana chain for this project. Let me do this one really quick. You're just rolling a loop like you would, you know, if you were making any kind of loop. Okay. All right, so now we have our little cup chain that's been sitting on the glue for just a second, and I'm going to squeeze the connector closed, and then if you can see, there are little tabs there on the top, right there, and you just take your pliers and bend them over and just close it down. Okay, squeeze it tight. All right, so now we have everything ready to go in our jump ring. So you're going to take a jump ring. Now you need kind of a big jump ring, but not a huge jump ring. Let's see here. I think I'm going to use maybe this size. That looks to be maybe a 10 millimeter to me, or 8. But, and then you just start stringing things on however you want them to be. So this one, I'm going to go ahead and put a chain first. Then I think I'll do this green cup chain. And you kind of want to make sure, especially with the cup chains, that everything's facing the front. You know, you want them to all show, so just string them on however that you like. Let's do another thing of rondelles here. Time for some more chain. And this is totally up to your discretion how you want to do it. Oh, and I didn't mention, but the seed beads, I do them the same way as I do the rondelles. So, you know, they're just put on with the crimp bead and a loop at the top with the monofilament. Okay. Just, I can tell right now, I need to go back to bed. This is probably not going to be my day. My boss called and she's like, I drive for Lyft. She's like, can I hire you as a Lyft driver today? I guess her car engine blew up last night, so she's out of car. I'm like, well, I will come and get you, but you don't have to pay me. you know, so poor thing. I feel sorry for her because that's going to be an expensive fix. Okay, now let me just tell you something. If you see that your jump ring is getting too crowded, and mine does seem to be, so I'm going to put this back on here. And then I'm going to close this one up, this jump ring up, because I don't want it so crowded that it looks, that it won't lay right. And then I'm going to take another jump ring, about the same size probably, and I'm going to go ahead and string the rest of my stuff on there. I just don't want it to be so crowded that it doesn't lay well, so I'm just going to string everything else on this one. I would rather you face this other way. Oh. There we go. And you can even use a third one if you need to. If it's getting too crowded, then stick a third one. I may actually do that. Yeah, I think I will. So here's 2. And then I'm going to grab one more. I've only got 3 things to hang on this one, so I'm going to make it a smaller, like a 6mm. And I'll go ahead and put this last rhinestone chain, the last Coriana chain, and the last regular chain right on there. Okay, close it up. Now, what I'm going to do is all of these are not going to fit, like you're not going to be able to put all 3 jump rings together at the top like this, I don't think, and get it to fit in that thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 8mm jump ring. I'm going to hang this 6mm jump ring with these on it from this 8mm one. And I'm trying to make sure that my cup chain is all facing the same direction so the rhinestones show. And then I'm going to hang this one from the bottom of this one. Okay? And that way you don't have them all crowded up in the same exact spot. There's kind of a little room for play. Okay, and then I'm going to take one of them. It really doesn't matter which one. Okay, and see what a pretty little tassel it makes. It's just beautiful. And I'm going to open up my eye pin and thread it on and close it up. Like this. Make sure that's closed really good. Then you're going to take your tassel topper, and you might have to finagle with it just a little bit, but you just kind of play around and try to get everything up in there as much as you can. And if it doesn't all go up in there, it's really okay, as long as you know, your clamshells aren't really showing, and mine all seem to be, except for that one. They all seem to be going up in there. So I'm going to take my plier and just pull it a little. Yeah, that clamshell, I may have to move him. Really, I mean, it doesn't, this is the front of the tassel, so he's not even going to show, but I may move him anyway. If I was selling this, I definitely would, but I'm probably going to keep this one. So I'm probably just going to leave him where he's at. He'll be in the back. But that is your little tassel. So I think I do want to put a bead on it. You can put a silver bead. You can use bead caps. Let me see what I have here. And I kind of really like this bead cap right here. So I may try to find a big old green bead. That would be really pretty on there since we're going with the green theme. I'm going to break into my Lamport glass stuff down here. Lamport glass I think is so pretty. And just try a couple things and see what you like. So let's put that on there. Let's put this bead on here. Don't really care for that on there. Let's see what else we've got. Here's a really pretty kind of a disc bead, but if I use that, the bead cap's going to look a little funny on there, but that is the color that I like. Here's a pretty bead. I kind of like that. It's got some swirls in it, and that might be really nice. Let me just see what else I've got here. got a lot of disc-shaped beads that would be cute, but I kind of want to use this bead cap and they would sit really funny. Okay, I think this bead's good. So I'm going to put the top on here, just like that. See how cute? Okay, then what you're going to do is you want to pull this whole situation kind of tight, but you don't want to pull it so tight that it pulls your eye pin open. So just, you know, have a little, try to get it as tight as you can, but don't, you know, don't force it. So you're going to make a 90-degree angle with your plier. Do I want to do a wrapped loop? I think I want to do a wrapped loop on this because it's a little more secure. So you're going to take your round nose plier at that point, and you're just going to flip this around, flip your plier up, go underneath here, grab it with this plier, and you want to wrap, and you want to wrap down as far as you can get to the bead so it tightens it. So take your time doing this part, don't get in a big rush. You really want it to look good. Okay, and just wrap it down until it's tight. Mine's pretty tight, and then you can trim off your excess wire. My cutters are really bad. These are ones, let me try these others. I don't have any that are really good. I'm going to have to get some, but I had used those pink ones on memory wire before I realized that was way back when I started. I've had those since I first started beading, and I'm just going to pull this in so it doesn't poke anybody. Alright, and there you have it, a cute little tassel with a lot of sparkle, just really cute. So now we're going to hang it on some Coriana chain. So get yourself a length of Coriana chain, however long you want this to be. I like my tassels to hang pretty long. So what I do usually is I just hold it up to myself and see, okay, I'm going to be wearing this tassel, where do I want it to hang? And then I just cut my chain accordingly. Now, if you have a customer that, you know, you may want to do that a little better, more scientific. But as for me, yeah, this is the way I'm doing it, because I'm just going to be the one wearing this. Okay, so then to finish off your Coriana chain, put my crimp beads away, didn't I? You need a couple crimp beads and the clamshells. And all you're going to do is the same thing as you did before. You're going to take your crimp bead, stick this up in there. I'm sorry, your clamshell. And then you're going to take your crimp bead, put it in here. Oh lordy, it's taking me, I don't know how I'm going to do at work today, because I do tiny little, I glue crystals on things at work. And it's going to be a rough day if I don't get a little more coordinated. I'm currently making a pair of earrings for Miss North Carolina to wear in the Miss America pageant, so I'm going to have to do a good job. So, crimp those down. Okay, then you want to take your E6000 again. It's got old glue. Let me get that off of there. Alright. Doesn't take much. Just take it, put it in your clamshell. Let me go ahead and get both clamshells, because if I don't, this glue is going to leak all over. That's one thing about E6000. It does not stay in the tube. When the lid's off, it comes out. Okay, there we go. So now just close them up. Just like that. Okay, there you have it. It's a professional little finish, and it works great. I've not had any trouble with these clamshells coming loose. And then you want to take a jump ring or a ring of some sort. Well, it would have to be a jump ring to be able to get on here. Put it through your clamshell on one side, And I normally do extenders on my necklaces that are not for myself, but since this one I'm just probably going to keep, I am not going to worry about an extender on it. Then you're going to put this one on this smaller jump ring on the other side, and your lobster. Close it up. And there you have it. And oh, look at that. I left a chain off of my tassel. Oh well. There you have it. So a cute little tassel necklace. So this is the ending you get on this Coriana, and it is really nice. A very professional ending. Just make sure your clamshells are closed up tight. And it looks really good. Yeah. So there's that. Here's our tassel. It turned out beautifully, I think. I may try to add in that piece of chain with the tiny jump ring. It's probably not worth it. But it's very pretty. And I love tassels. I'm so into them right now, and they are really popular right now. But I think when you add these little rhinestone or rondelles, these sparkly rondelles and the cup chain, they come out just beautiful. So these products were purchased at lbeads.com. I will link the haul that I did where I got these items in the description box below, and I will link all of the product links as well, so you can go buy them for yourself if you want to make this tassel or a tassel similar to it. These rondelles came in, one was a package of a strand of 20 strands and one was a package of 10 strands, and they have tons of rondelles on them. They're in so many pretty colors. Look at this one. I really want to do a blue. I mean, look at those blues together. I really want to do a blue tassel. They're so pretty. So yeah, if you're interested, I will link all that below. And they've given me a coupon code. You can get, I believe it's $2 off or $5 off. I don't know. I'll link it below. But anyway, you guys have a great rest of the day. I've got to go get ready for work. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.